Welcome back, Focus Learners, to another explainer. Today, we're completely tossing out any rigid agendas and plunging right into the magic and, honestly, the sheer power of precise vocabulary. We're zeroing in entirely on Lesson 6 of the classic 504 Absolutely Essential Words, unlocking 12 terms that are literally going to elevate how you communicate, how you digest what you read, and ultimately, how you perceive the world around you.
Okay, let's dive into this. The ancient Roman playwright Plautus hit the nail on the head when he wrote, "A word to the wise is sufficient." And that thought perfectly anchors our lesson today. Because mastering vocabulary, it's not just about trying to sound smart at a dinner party. It's the ultimate tool for the wise. Finding that exact right word at the exact right moment does all the heavy lifting for you.
So let's tackle our first cluster of words today: action and discovery.
To make this as sticky for your brain as possible, we're taking these 12 words in thematic clusters. It creates these powerful little mental pegs for our memory. Our first active word is approach, meaning to come near or nearer to. Now, a really important nuance here. We almost always think of this physically, right? Like walking up to a building. But it is just as powerful when applied mentally. You can approach a difficult problem with a completely new spirit.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what I mean. You've got the literal physical movement. Lawyers approach the bench. Or Herbeau kissed Sylvia when he approached her. But then, look at this different context. Ben approached the burden of getting a job with a new spirit. Putting the word into that psychological framework really locks in our understanding of how versatile it is.
Moving right along, we have detect, which simply means to find out or discover. There is a super proactive, highly energetic pulse to this word. It's the distinct action of uncovering something hidden. Think about the sudden realization when a detective detects that crucial papers have vanished from a locked room. It's a very forward-leaning pursuit of the truth.
Now we can contrast that highly proactive nature of detect with our next word, neglect, which represents a completely passive failure of attention. Neglect means giving too little care or attention to something. If you detect a problem, you are fully engaged. But if a politician neglects to make his annual report, or you neglect to do your homework, you're totally disengaged. It's the stark difference between finding out and just failing to care.
Which seamlessly brings us to our second thematic block: flaws and falsehoods.
Exploring the slightly darker side of human nature brings us to deceive, to make someone believe as true something that is false, to mislead. Let's actually slow down for a second to really emphasize this, because deception isn't just a simple mistake or a typo. It is the active, intentional planting of a falsehood into someone else's mind. It requires both a deceiver and a victim.
Consider these dramatic scenarios from the text. Atlas was deceived about the burden he had to carry. Virginia cried when she learned her best friend had deceived her. The villain deceived Chief White Cloud by pretending to be his friend. Grounding the abstract definition in these vivid narratives of betrayal makes the concept absolutely impossible to forget, doesn't it?
Let's see how this builds into our next two words: defect and defraud. A defect is a fault or that which is wrong, and it very often refers to an inanimate object, like sending a car back to the factory because of a dangerous steering defect. Defraud, on the flip side, is a malicious, intentional action against a person or a group. It means taking money, rights, or property away by cheating. So you might detect a defect in a machine, but a corrupt person might defraud the government.
All right, on to Cluster 3, the professional sphere.
Stepping into the everyday vocabulary of the business world, the crucial point here is cleanly distinguishing the roles. You have the employee, a person who works for pay. If you're going on strike for higher wages, you're an employee. Conversely, you have the client, the person actually paying for the services, like a customer hiring a lawyer to predict the outcome of a trial. It's the fundamental economic relationship of our modern world boiled down into two simple words.
And when we hire professionals, how do we want them to work? Well, we want them to be thorough. Thorough means being all that is needed, complete. It's such a fantastic, robust word. Think of the intense rigor of a police search after a crime, or dedicating your entire Saturday to giving your basement a thorough cleaning. It turns the abstract idea of doing good work into a highly concrete, exhaustive action.
Right next to it is its very closely related cousin, comprehensive, meaning including much or covering completely. Now, while you might do a thorough job cleaning a single room, comprehensive is usually reserved for wider, more sweeping scopes.
the whole shebang, like a comprehensive medical exam where the doctor checks literally every single system in your body, or a comprehensive study of an author like Edgar Allan Poe. It implies a vast, all-encompassing breadth.
Now, when you've done a thorough and comprehensive job, you can speak undoubtedly. Undoubtedly means certainly or beyond doubt. I absolutely love the energy of this word. It's this incredibly powerful tool to project total confidence in your speech. If your debate team is the best in the county, they undoubtedly assembled the greatest arguments. Zero room for hesitation.
And wrapping up our isolated definitions is a word you undoubtedly already know, but must never neglect. Popular. Liked by most people. Whether we're talking about the Beatles writing popular songs or miniskirts being a popular fashion choice, it's a simple but absolutely essential term for describing mass appeal and cultural trends.
Which brings us to our final section, the Auto Clinic story.
All right, this is where it gets incredibly fun. We've built our 12 isolated mental pegs, and now we're going to see how this vocabulary plays out in a real-world context, using a story from the source text called The Health of Your Car. Imagine a mechanic, an employee, punching his time clock. The story tells us that the newest approach to auto repair is the clinic, where doctors of cars try to detect defects. The employees do not neglect the truth. Because they do a thorough job and a comprehensive examination using expensive machines, no mechanic will be able to deceive or defraud you by claiming you need major repairs. Therefore, these clinics are undoubtedly quite popular with every client. Do you see how brilliantly that works? It's like a giant puzzle where the words lock together to build a complete framework of understanding.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Lesson 6. But before we go, I want to leave you with a final thought to chew on. This vocabulary is yours now, but it's only powerful if you actually put it to work. So when will you detect a defect or need to be thorough in your own life today? Take these 12 newly mastered words, step out into your world, and use them immediately. Let your words be sufficient. Keep learning, stay focused, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.